YouTube and the Auburn fan base. Oh my goodness, once again it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast. Just like one of my guys that follow me a lot, Gregory Lawrence, he calls it the CarCast. Talking Auburn football, go ahead and like the video, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. It is week 2 of fall camp, and a lot of decisions will be made. And, I won't even say a lot of decisions will be made, but a lot of analytical basis will be made on who's going to be in the depth chart. That could change within the next few weeks. But we're going to get into that in this particular video. Like the comment, subscribe to Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. My name is Kennard Vernon Stewart, and as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle. I was a little shocked by this as we get into this video. Auburn has always had some pretty good running backs. You talk about Bo Jackson. You talk about Stephen Davis. There are some that I'm not going to mention on this list, and I hope you don't get offended. And that's just for the interest of saving time. You got Trey Mason. You got Kenny Irons. You have Ben Tate. You have Ronnie Brown, Cadillac Williams. You have Brad Lester, who, was kind of, I think, hampered by injury while he was at Auburn, but he had some great moments as an Auburn Tiger. And you have Kerryon Johnson and Trey Smith. It's just so many to name, to be honest with you. Michael Dyer, you can name that name. So many. James Bostic, man, that one popped up. Some names back in the 80s that, I'm probably missing. So Auburn has always been the type of school that likes to run the football. And I think that is apparent considering what Auburn has done in the past. But when we think about in recent years, hasn't necessarily been the case. Now, one of my favorite running backs that I didn't mention in that group, and I think the potential energy of him is actually absolutely phenomenal if, the offensive line was in place and, he had to deal with like several coordinators while he was at Auburn. And that's Tank Bigsby. I think that was the guy that just took one under the chin, took one for the team, for the Tigers, because he was a great running back. And the maximum effort that he showed, considering the circumstance that he literally had, he had 2 coaches, several coordinators, and still stuck it out. And I think that's a good selling point even for his tenure as an NFL football player, that this guy has staying power. He committed to Auburn. He didn't leave. And I think that says a lot about his character. And then when you think about how people really blast these college football players, their moral turpitude and their effort and their willingness to bounce back from adversity is absolutely incredible. I mean, you think about a guy that has torn his ACL. Most of us that sit behind this camera, that sit on the couch, that do whatever we do as these couch potato analysts, I don't think I am, but I might be. Hell, you don't know. But either way, as these couch potato analysts and these guys that sit comfortably behind their camera and are super critical about these college football players, overly critical of these guys. These guys bounce back from a lot of adversity. You know what I'm saying? Bouncing back from injuries, bouncing back from, things that happen, within their family, things like that. And being able to come back and perform at the level that they perform, I think these guys deserve a little bit more accolades than they do receive. And speaking of the running back room, you talk about Brian Battie. I mean, you talk about adversity, having that tragic situation during the summer, and now he's in a position to where he's starting to walk again and find his equilibrium again, I think that says a lot. And I think before we get into overly criticizing these young men who are super young men and their mental development, their maturity development is, it's not where it will be later on, but the foundation that some of these guys are laying for their future is absolutely phenomenal. Now, as I look at the Auburn football team, one guy that stands out is a guy that just doesn't come off to me as a trash talker. As a matter of fact, his touchdown celebrations, he's always usually kneeling, and he always usually points to the sky, which is a usual indication of gratitude and thankful gesture to the Creator. And that's Jarquez Hunter. And Brian Harsin did a lot of things at Auburn. He didn't do, on paper, a lot of good. One of few good things that people will document as Brian Harsin executing was recruiting Jarquez Hunter. I think this is an Auburn guy through and through, and he has proven that time and time again. And there have been times that, not maliciously critical of Jarquez Hunter, but I was looking at the stats. You know what I'm saying? And I do see that there are some areas where in 2024 that Jarquez Hunter, it's much needed for Jarquez Hunter to be a little bit more effective in the meat times of the game. Because, there's always a game within the game. And I want to see Jarquez Hunter not only get the chunk plays that he's really good at, but I want to see those 6 and 7, those grind out yards that, will be needed to kind of tire down defenses during the season. Jarquez Hunter says that, you know what? I was absolutely shocked that this was, kind of a somewhat of a public thing to where he said, you know what? Auburn has the best SEC, has the best running back group in the SEC. And I was like, oh, man, okay. All right. So when a guy says something like this, I'm like, well, maybe so. Or at least among the best in the SEC. We look at, situations with Auburn. You got Jarquez Hunter that easily has capabilities to be at least, at worst, an all SEC running back. Had about 909 yards last year. And, give or take some, I think he was suspended the first couple of games, all this limited playing time, blah, blah, blah. Hugh Freeze, new coach, trying to figure some things out. Who's the guy that I want to roll with? And, he winds up with 900 and something yards, which I think, to be honest, I think he was an easy 1,000-yard rusher. Could have been a 1,000-yard rusher last year, but it didn't quite happen. But Jarquez Hunter says, you know what? We got one of the best running back rooms in the country. And I was like, you know what? Let me look at some tape on this. And I didn't look at any other team because, for the interest of saving time, I didn't care about what other teams had going on as far as his running back room. I saw a run from Damari Alston in the most recent Iron Bowl that was very impressive. I saw some concepts offensive line-wise that made this run possible. Now, the only thing is I will leave in the description this run, but I don't want to get like a copyright strike for this run. I thought a really nice run for Damari Alston. What he did against a team full of 5 stars and coached by the legendary Nick Saban. Nice run. Jarquez Hunter, catching the ball out of the backfield, running the football. I thought he was absolutely phenomenal. Jeremiah Cobb, my goodness, the pass that he caught, I want to say against Mississippi State, a back shoulder throw. He caught it. He's an excellent runner. And I think he is poised to be a good running back for the Auburn Tigers. Now, how will Hugh Freeze has a lot going on. And he has a lot of players that want to have the football in their hands. Right? You got all those receivers, the Freeze 5, 6, 7, or whatever they are. It's a lot of them. They're good. Some of them are coming to campus a little bit better than we expected. Hint, hint, Perry Thompson, which I told y'all about like 2 or 3 months ago. So, will Auburn, this is the question that I posed to the group. And I want y'all to get active in this and quit playing. Really get active in this and let me know. Get the comment section active. We got to get this comment section active. And I definitely appreciate the influx of subscribers. We're over 5,000 now. The goal by the end of this month to be at 5,100. And just let me know in the comment section, do you think, based on what you know or don't know, if Auburn will have the best running back room in the country? Now, considering the recruiting process of all the running backs involved, there will be some bias here. You know what I'm saying? Because I have never seen a situation. It's always crazy where Auburn will sign a 5, like Tank Bigsby, for example, was considered a 5-star running back. But when he gets recruited by Auburn or commits to Auburn, now he's a 4-star, a high-end 4-star. So I don't get that. That's my time here. We got a little bit more to talk about. Paul Feinbaum actually has some words for the Auburn program, especially as it relates to recruiting, that we will talk about. Go ahead and like this video, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. Down in Deep South, college football is king, and on the plains of Auburn, the battle cry is War Eagle. We'll see you next time.